Minari was one of this year's nominees for Best Picture. I finally got to check it out, so let's talk about it. Minari tells the story of a Korean family in the 1980s that moves to the deep south in order to start a farm and give their family a new chance. Now, this is a film I hadn't heard about until it was nominated for Best Picture. Then, of course, I wanted to check it out because every year I like to watch all the Best Picture nominees. Real quick, before I give you my thoughts on it, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Let me know, what did you think about Minari? One more thing before this video gets started, it is sponsored by the Korean Tourism Organization. On May 22nd, the Korean Tourism Organization is hosting a night of entertainment in order to celebrate Asian and Asian American film by showing Best Picture nominee Minari at the Paramount Drive-In Theater in Paramount, California. For details on how to enter to attend this event, head to @visitkorea.us on Instagram. Now here's the part that makes this really cool. Everyone that attends the event gets a K film box containing $150 worth of Korean snacks, gifts, and kind of film-related items. And one person who attends the event will win 2 free plane tickets to Korea. At the end of this video, I'll show you everything you get inside of the K film box. If you're interested in entering to attend, go to @visitkorea.us on Instagram. With that said, let's get started with the good. And what I loved about this film is that it manages to tell such a human and real story about this family. None of it feels sensational. None of it feels exaggerated. It feels like you're watching this family trying to make it, both in their personal family situation as well as their financial situation. The tension, the conflict feels real, and it feels earned. And the part that really impressed me about this one is that it's a movie that doesn't have an obvious overt conflict in front of the family because you're just watching them, but there's all these subtle little things in their life that just keep stacking on top of one another. And so even though there's not this obvious threat coming towards them, creating a ticking clock or something like that, you feel the stress and the urgency of everything because you care about each of the individual characters. You know what the husband is trying to do and why, where he's trying to find validation, what he thinks will save the family. You understand what the mother wants, what she thinks the family needs, where she thinks they should be at, and the conflict that's creating with the husband who sees things a little bit differently. And then the grandmother gets brought into the situation. She brings her own perspective on life and everything. And it's all of it plays out like real people, like real situations, but at the same time manages to just keep escalating, keep getting more and more tense and stressful as you go throughout the film without ever having to break its own rules and go into the sensational or Hollywood-ized things. Another thing I really enjoyed about this film is that it is all about a Korean family moving into the deep south and looking at some of the integration issues that they face. But what it doesn't do is treat the people of the deep south as villains. They're certainly ignorant at times. They make racist statements, but it doesn't treat them as just these overt racists out to hurt everyone different from themselves. They're just ignorant themselves. They don't know how to integrate. They don't know. They've never interacted with people like this before. And so they say really dumb, ignorant things, but in a way that feel like things people I've known have said, and they weren't trying to be mean-spirited. They just didn't know better. And so it doesn't try to villainize people or anything. It presents real type scenarios that take place that resemble actual conversations I've heard. And as someone that was going to church in the South in the 80s, even plays songs that I remember being played at church in the background while people are just socializing and talking to one another. All along the way, there's a bunch of just great performances The big gigantic standout is the grandmother, and she did end up winning an Oscar for her performance as this, at one point in time, just very lively, fun grandmother. And then kind of throughout the course of the film, things happen to her. And even as we were watching it, my wife says, like, how are they doing this? Well, she's just giving a phenomenal performance that you buy her as this lively person, and you buy her as the person with the health issues. But everyone does a great job of feeling real while still being compelling and interesting at the same time. Finally, one of the things that I thought really worked as you move into the final segment of the film is as it keeps ratcheting up the tension, the conflict, as it gets more and more stressful as you're watching the film, it ends on a note that in certain ways, it's very tragic. It's very sad. It goes to a very dark place in the final 15, 20 minutes of the film in regards to multiple different plot lines. But it never loses its hopefulness. It ends on a hopeful note. It always has just that tinge of life is hard. Integration is hard. There is conflicts that come within the family, that come all around you. Not your dreams don't always come true, but then it always has just enough hope in it. Just enough that you care about what's happening, and it, despite going to such dark places, still finds a way for you to be optimistic about things. And I thought that was a really powerful message in light of just how much stress you feel watching this movie, how much conflict they work through, the dark places they go, and then it finds a way to still be optimistic and hopeful. I very much appreciated that about the film, the way that it found a way to address racial tensions, integration, without villainizing people, to go to dark places, but without getting cynical. That's what I think really made this film special. From there, let's move on to the bad. And when it comes to the bad, this isn't a movie that made overt large mistakes. It's not a movie that I would say this scene was bad, they should have cut this sequence. At the same time, it's a movie that, because it's trying so hard to be so grounded, so real, and earn each moment, at times it can definitely be slow because of that. It took me a little while to figure out exactly where things were headed, because it dwells so much in the tension of this family. It's a bit of a tough film to watch because of that, and I think maybe just a little bit more humor, few more moments of levity could have broken that tension just enough without ruining the growing overall tension of the film that makes it a little bit more palatable and accessible. Real quick before I give you my final score on this one, be sure to join me down below in the comments. Let me know what you thought about Minari. Also remember, the event on May 22nd is a showing of Minari, and everyone that attends it will receive the K Film Box. At the end of this video, I'll show you everything that you receive in the K Film Box. Minari is a film that does a great job of exploring the tension that this family faces while not ignoring the racial issues, the conflict, but also not turning cynical. Overall, I would give the film an A-. If you're looking for an interesting exploration of integration in the 1980s in the Deep South, I do recommend you check out this film. But no, it is on the slow and heavy side. The Korean Tourism Organization graciously sent me one of the K-Film boxes that everyone that attends the May 22nd event will receive, and I just wanted to show you what was inside of it. Right off the bat, everybody gets the Blu-ray for Parasite. Next up, the Explore Korea guide. This is pretty cool. It's actually a guide to all the filming locations of Netflix originals that were shot in Korea. Then a whole series of guides for like where to go, where to eat, travel guides just in general. Then we've got a whole bunch of different snacks. I love how different countries have different snacks that we consume. So like right off the bat, like sea munchies, like snacks featuring seafood. That's so different and interesting to me. French cream cakes, honey butter chips, pero tofu noodle, rice punch, shrimp crackers. last couple things in here are fun ones. You get the chapaguri noodles that are actually featured in Parasite that they talk about when they're trying to do their cooking and everything. You get your own little container of them right there. And the final one in here, everybody gets some Korean Select Immune, and it's essentially red ginseng. So different cultures find different ways to stay healthy, and one of the things that they do is they take Korean red ginseng. So everyone that attends the May 22nd event will get a K-Film box containing all this stuff plus more. I don't have enough hands to actually hold it all up because it's $150 worth of stuff that you get if you attend this event, and you get to see a great film. One final time, if you're interested in attending, you can apply to attend at visitkorea.us on Instagram. The link is down below in the description as well as the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching. Check it out at that link down below, and keep talking movies and TV too much.